Girl.
Well, what Liz say? I'm pissed!
Q, honestly, that should have been Tiffany. Q, you I'm pissed!
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was hilarious to me. That was hilarious to me. I laughed. I did. I did. I did. Cause girl, baby. Nicki Minaj said this is the worst episode of Survivor ever. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Jeff said it was gonna be one of the best.
Jeff don't know what the fuck he talking about, and I knew that since the hourglass twist.
Get to the streets for real, because
it's the hourglass twist. He didn't know what he was talking about. Since he dropped that 4 and kept that 1, he ain't know what the.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pretty delusional since then.
I don't know what happened when that 4 dropped. Put the 4 back. Quick,
bring back the 4. Or hashtag bring back the 4.
We need to wait for 5 because the 5 will be there because it's 50. So.
Well, you know what?
What?
We don't even have to talk about the trash episode. Let's talk about how Survivor 50 is going to be all stars, bitch.
All stars, bitch. Ain't that some tea?
So for the girls who don't know, before we get into this trash episode, let's just ignore this episode for a minute. Jeffrey announced that Survivor 50 is going to be a returnee season, and he also specified that it's not just going to be returnees from the new era.
And who I need is Miss Hannah from Millennials Gen X.
Yes, this is a Hannah stand right here.
Sister. I ain't never had a white sister before. Until and only Hannah.
Well, no, because Poverty is my sister.
Probably not white, is she?
I was going to say, you should forget Poverty white. Honestly.
It's hard to consider Poverty white because that's a bad bitch. And it's no shade to the white girls. It's no shade to the white girls, but it's hard to really put like a bad bitch white queen in with like your regular white queen. So Hannah, the only regular white queen who I would call my sister. But anyways. It's
like an energy shift.
That's my sister. That's my queen. That's my girl. So I can take her. Honestly, other than her, ain't nobody jumping out.
Well, Davey. I
want a good Davey. Anybody from Millennials just in the decks. Anybody from Millennials.
Yeah. Millennials Gen X was a really good season. And what was her name? Was it Sydney?
Not Sydney.
Girl, she wore locks.
Oh, Sydney. Queen. I thought you were talking about.
I would like to see her play again. But if I'm being honest,
I do love Sydney.
If it's an eras twist, if that is the theme, Survivor Generation, Survivor Eras, okay, we can go with that. But if it's just like All Stars, I don't know. I think I would rather it only be new era. Maybe because of recency bias. Like we just watched all of these new seasons, but I really was obsessed with the idea of, okay, we're in this new era. The first All-Star season ever was like season, 6, 7? So I'm just thinking like, if this is the new era, Dr. Pharaoh keep the 1, the new All-Stars would be within the new era, because it'll just be interesting to see the personalities that we've seen with how the show has, elevated. Well, I won't say elevated, changed over the last few years. Yeah. I would just be interested to see those people play this game. It will also be interesting to see people pre this era play this game because it's a new environment for them. I don't know. I almost feel like it's not needed right now, but I do know a lot of people have a lot of favorites that they would like to see. So, I definitely don't think this is a popular opinion.
I remember, I will say at the beginning of the drop the 4, keep the 1 era, I was upset that I might not see some of these players come back. The way he was promoting it didn't seem like they would want to go pre-41 for returnees. And initially I was upset. But then when we started getting the seasons, I was like, okay, we definitely need All-Stars. I think the issue that Jeff has is that there should have already been there should already be a new era All-Stars coming before.
Yes. Like literally, like at 47 or 48.
Exactly. Was my whole if I was Survivor people, I would have made 49 regular All-Stars, and then I would have made 50 something where we can bring back other eras, because I'm just camp like that. But I just feel like even at 47, because they used to, at the end of the last era of Survivor, before 40 happened, they were doing one returning season, and then like one newbie season, and then one returning season, one newbie season. It was very close in proximity between Game Changers, Second Chances, all of these
Blood versus Water.
Blood versus Water. They were all kind of happening more frequently. So if they would have got back in that bag, they could easily do 47 All-Stars for the new era, and then have 48 and 49.
Maybe they should do that. Like 48 can be Blood versus Water. That way they don't have to do Second Chances or a full returning cast. Yep. You can still bring back people that we want to see. Because I don't know. Like I kind of, to me, I guess because it's been talked up as if it's this new era, it's a different game a little bit. It does feel like there's a separation there. So it will be kind of interesting, but weird to see these new era players kind of play with some of these older school players. But in general, some people in the chat are already saying it. I just need Shan back. I don't give a fuck who's on it.
And I
as
will
long
say,
as my good sis Shan is there, she better be back.
I did like a fan cast of these first 6 seasons of who are the 2 players I want to see back. And doing that, I realized I don't give a fuck about none of these people. But Shan, in reality, like during when the season would happen and it would come out, I would be like, oh my God, I need to see Shan, Ricard, Evie, Liana. But in reality, now that it's been time, girl, I don't give a fuck about all them people. All I need is Shan.
And personally, I still do. I would love to see if they can get like D, Jam Jam, Shan, Kara. I would like to see a lot of like the big people, because each season had a few, like I would say 4 or less people that I really, really liked. I would like to see those people come back together in a new era season before a bigger All-Stars. Because at this point, it's just honestly so many Survivor players. Like they have so many places they can pick from. That's why I think the twist should definitely be generations or eras or something like that, so that they have a reason to bring someone back from literally every single era of the game.
Yeah, I agree. We ready to talk about this shit?
Do we need to?
Kinda.
Well, speaking of someone who's going to be on Survivor 50, Tiffany went home this episode.
I need to hold on because they're talking. I need Omar, Carla, and Jesse. Some of the girls hate Carla and Jesse. I had to make a tweet for them to calm the fuck down. I do need Carla, Jesse, Omar, Shan, of course. I feel like I need them, really some of the biggest ones. This season, I really kind of need Q. No shade. I need Tiffany recently. But all the like kind of secondary people, and it's no shade to them, but like some people would say Cody, like Jesse's little friend. And it's like, I don't need him. And like, you know, like I said, like at first I needed like Liana. I don't need Liana, no shade.
But that's why I think it would be perfect. Like you would be getting the main girls from each cast. It would only be, in my opinion, the mothers of each season so far, which would be an iconic cast. I do feel like if we were to get people from all generations, you know, there's going to be a lot of people in these new eras that we may not get. And I would hate to miss someone from this new era on that type of season. But it's fine.
Is it? Jeff needed to really have All-Stars now. But hey, we move. So we start this episode off. Liz is mad because she was left out of the vote to take out Hunter. Hunter went home. Liz is mad about it. And she kind of asked everybody why she was left out of the plan. They said it was a last minute. Blah, blah, blah. We see Kenzie and Tiffany discuss that Q got to go home this episode. But then we see Maria go talk to Q. And we'll see this episode. Maria has her big plan. This is a really big move for her. And honestly, like, other than the fact that she was too worried about my girl, which I don't understand, she ate it up. She did. She did her big move.
She did. Honestly, it would have been very embarrassing if she didn't, because the entire episode was this plan to get out Tiffany. Yeah. So by the end of it, you know, she did not go home. It would have been like, Maria, girl, ooh. And that's why I still hate, like, Survivor Education definitely has changed over the years, and you can't predict it, but like it is still predictable in some ways. So I'm just like, why aren't we seeing a reward? You know, like we saw them initiate kind of the Tiffany plan, which was the first like 9-10 minutes of the episode, and then we come back and they got a reward. Usually when you get a reward, it's because they don't have shit to show. So I was like, girl, Tiffany finna just go home, ain't she? And child.
Don't say
now,
that.
I have been told to be called Lee Baxter, so maybe I am just psychic, and I saw it.
You are,
but like I was so like I every time we see a reward, I'm just disappointed in the episode already, because I'm like, ooh, what is she doing here? Right, we shouldn't have time for you.
So Maria has the plan, and her plan is she can use Q, and it's like shout out to her, because all the great players, I feel like, should have that type of mindset of using someone who's very capable of being used. And Maria hopped right at it. She said, Q is here. I can pick him up for a number and move along. And that's exactly what the fuck she did. So she went to Q and she basically was being nice to him, had a good conversation with him about how, you can still be in this game. You can still play this game. And then she has a DR that she doesn't want Q out because he's a number for her. Of course, she wants Mother out. I'd want Mother out too. Who the Queen stays queen? What's that lady? Sandra. What Sandra said, I want every woman out of this game. No, she said, usually in this game, women go home early, and I want to make sure that happens. That's Maria. Shut up. Maria wants to be the queen, and I'll give it to her. Take all them girls out. Kenzie next. Liz next. Thank you. So
no, because Ben gotta go. I'm sorry, Ben has to go.
Lee, give that up. Ben ain't going nowhere, baby.
I just hope he doesn't win. I just hope he does not win. I hope Ben does not win this game. I hope he does not win this game.
I don't see how this jury, because something else different about the BIPOC era that we've noticed has been a consistent is it's not easy for a likable white man to just win this game off of just being likable and white. That hasn't happened in this new era. Actually,
well, people call him Gabler.
Gabler is not likable. No shade. He's just, and honestly, that's not why he won. They explained why he won. It was more so his gameplay. And no shade, that final 3 was a dud. But Ben, like, his whole aura is just being likable and a white man. And it's like, thinking of the jury, Soda, Tevin, Hunter, even, they here to vote a winner. They here to vote a game player. They're not here to vote a man.
I would hope so.
So I don't see him winning off of.
I don't want to bash. Well, I can bash him because he was being weird this episode. But in general, I don't like players like him. I don't like players in any type of show that I feel like are just there.
Yeah.
And why are you here doing nothing, adding nothing, not giving me any entertainment?
Rudy says, "Do you think they will win over Regis?" Yes, but it's a final 3. There's not 2 people who I feel like Ben could sit next to where the other person shouldn't at least deserve to
win. Liz, Venus.
Maybe Liz and Venus, or
the guy against Venus would definitely deserve that. If they didn't vote Venus in the final 3 with Liz and Ben, I would have to DM them all personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now you know some bully shit. I need answers.
If it's there, if it's Q, I wouldn't even say Q. Ben deserves it over Q, but if it's Q there, they wouldn't respect him.
Doesn't.
So I feel like the people who they wouldn't respect next to Ben is Q, Venus. But no shade to Ben. I don't think Ben's getting there without his
leaders. Maria or Charlie or both.
Yeah. Sure. So I feel like y'all not voting him over Maria and Charlie. I mean, if y'all do, then I have a problem with y'all. Y'all can all see me outside. How about that?
Off the island, Ponderosa.
Off the island. The fuck. So, anyways,
this was Pharaoh was saying on the phone. This gonna be a mid final 3.
It is gonna be a mid final 3. It's giving all of the big edit. What happened in 43 was all of the big edits went to Jesse and Carla and James. It was like a lot of people, even Noelle. Was Noelle on that season? Somebody else got a really big edit that season, and it's like none of y'all was in the final 3. And then we got to final 3, and we was like, this is it. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of the story be told by people who are all going home. So I'm like, okay, Tiffany was a big part of this season. She going home. Q's a big part. He's definitely going to end up just going home. Kenzie's a big part. She could make it, or she could go home. And then it's like we ended up in the end with, and not that Maria and Charlie are running the game, but when it comes to how they're editing, how they're editing the like front runners of the show, like they're not at the forefront of the entertainment or even the storyline. They're kind of like in the background of the storyline. It's like this is what's happening, and they're in the back sneaking around like some queens. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. I'm to the point where, like, especially now that Tiffany's gone, like I kind of just want Q to go next so we can get over this stage of the game. Like they're so stuck on Q and Tiffany.
Yeah, I agree.
So
this next scene was Kenzie having a diary room. She talked to Maria and Charlie, and she had a diary room. She says, "One of the best checkpoints in your Survivor game is taking out your number 1. So I have to take out my number 1. Girl, who the fuck said that?
Please do not tell me this is Survivor lore now, Survivor meta. I can't take it. I cannot take it. This does not need to be something to take deep in like stop because they usually is what happens. Like I feel like what happens with these things that they say, well, this is something that can help you win, is that they see someone else do it and they see how it works for their game, so they think, well, let me just replicate that.
But it hasn't worked for anyone's game.
Exactly, because it doesn't mean it works for everyone's game. Like for example, Marianne took out her closest ally because it worked for her in that scenario. You shouldn't go, well, because Marianne did it, that means I can do it. It's going to get me to win. That worked for Marianne in her season, in her scenario. You need to analyze the type of game you're in, the type of people you're playing with, and see, is this a move I need to make? Is this a move I need to make right now? Because, like, I don't understand. Like, Kenzie came to her senses at the end of this episode. Thank God. But looking at the tribe, you don't really have a relationship with Liz like that. Like, her main connection seems like to be is with Maria and Charlie, which you can obviously tell is a duo. They have a relationship with Ben. If Tiffany goes, who the fuck do you have in your circle, Kenzie? Yeah. You know? So...
And the issue was Marianne didn't take out her closest ally. Marianne took out the person who was going to win the game. Right now, Maria or Charlie are going to win the game. Boo, 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 baby. So you need to be focused on who can win the game. At the end of the day, just because just so happened her closest ally was someone who's a big threat, so she had to take him out. That doesn't mean take out your closest ally. You think of ABC and you're supposed to be thinking 1, 2, 3, baby. Like take out the people who nuances. The game.
That's why I like personally, like I feel like I've never. Like every time I'm thinking about being in those positions where they ask the reality contestants, like, "Oh, who do you think you'll play? Like, who do you think your game will most mirror?" Like, I wouldn't have an answer for that. I have no intention of playing like any other person because that worked for them. Like, and that's so annoying that people kind of go into these games and they think, "Well, I'm going to be the next Dan, or I'm going to be the next Boston Rob, or the next Harvey, or the next this." You're not. Mm-hmm. You're not, because that worked for them, and you're not them. You have to be the next you.
Period. So then we get to the reward challenge. Reward challenge was actually kind of cute. It was individual. I like seeing them play individually, which we rarely get to see nowadays, except for a fucking Applebee's reward. So anyways, we play it. Q ends up winning. You see that the reward is Applebee's, and they have these beef burgers. And Liz talks about how, oh my God, me and my daughter every Wednesday, it's our routine to go to Applebee's and get this beef burger, that exact burger that you're talking about, and we eat it every single Wednesday. Like, oh my God! And I just felt like that was a setup from the beginning. Like, why are you saying this? Like, you saying this so the person who wins can blah blah blah. So, anyways, when Q wins. Exactly. When Q wins, he's able to take people on it. So he chooses Tiffany first. He kind of wants to.
And I was like, period. My sister gets to eat.
I like it. He wants to reconcile the relationship he did.
9-3.
Yes. Then Liz starts begging. She's like, please.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Because like, I'm sorry. I don't know.
But no, literally.
Because I definitely thought he was gonna do it because she started begging.
And he didn't give a fuck. That much funnier. Fucking claps to Q for not giving a fuck about white woman tears, no shade. I don't give a fuck that you crying and begging. I promise you I don't care. And neither
I mean, at the end of the day, like, we are in the game, like, you're not entitled to the reward. You know what I mean? I don't even think
Baby,
it was just crazy. It was just crazy. So it's just because she's a millionaire.
Like, you're a millionaire. I don't give a fuck. So Liz is crying, begging, pleading. And Q says, look, he picks Maria first. He says, look, there's somebody who was talking to me when I was by myself who actually cared about me, so I'm going to choose Maria. And then Liz starts literally crying.
But this part is hilarious. This is the hilarious part for me, right? Because the fact that Q even said her name, knowing that he's not picking her, because he goes, you know, I know Liz would probably really enjoy this food. Like, you know, he would probably really be like this, but... You know, something is telling me to really just unite the family again. So I'm going to go with Kenzie. And Liz will be like, what?
Oh, child. So Liz is very upset. She turns around, has her face over her eyes. And then Jeff wasn't making it no better because before he picked Q, he was like, all right, Q, you got somewhere over there crying. She's allergic to food, so she can't eat.
Jeff's messy down.
Like,
he lived for this. That's why he got up here and said, this is the best episode ever, because someone blew up on Applebee's. He lived for these moments. He liked Survivor breaking these people down and making them show out. It's a little sick. It is. I got you, Jeff.
It's very, what's that man from Total Drama Coded? Him.
Chris McClain. He is very Chris McClain coded.
Well, really, Chris McClain was based off of him, so of course he's a little Chris McClain, but you know, they knew the tea. So Jeff asked Liz how she feels. She's turned around, and then she comes and she says, "I'm pissed."
It was so dramatic.
I almost busted out laughing. I swear to God, if I was on that island, I would have busted out laughing. I would have to giggle because the way she went on this rant, fully.
I definitely would have laughed a little bit.
You blew my whole game, and I didn't even say anything. I don't even want to be around any of you guys. You ruined my game, and you
okay. You eat. Because I had to ask Pharaoh this 3 times while watching the episode. I'm going to ask it again. I truly don't understand what the fuck she's talking about. How did Q blow up her game?
Girl, so Liz delusionally believes that, well, I'm not even going to play in her face because she did orchestrate the Tevin vote. Was it the Tevin vote? It was the Tevin vote. She orchestrated the Tevin vote. And after she orchestrated Tevin going home, her whole point was this is going to be a resume move. I'm the one who said his name. I'm the one who made sure he went home, which was correct. And then when we got to tribal council, because Q, that was a tribal council, Q decided he wanted to quit. They got up and they all started whispering and stuff. And when they went back to camp, everyone was talking about Q. So in her mind, she was about to make her move of the season. And Q took that away from her because he pretended to want to quit, but he didn't even want to quit. And he was being it's like,
you're upset at Q for that? Like, that doesn't really... It's just like... there's a sense of entitlement. Just no shade. She felt entitled because Applebee's like, oh, this is my move. And you took it. Because if it was your move, it would have happened.
Mm-hmm. It did happen. Tevin did go home. But still.
I mean, but still, though. It's like, regardless, it's like, it's she would have got... Like, what I mean, what happened. It was like, it would have happened and she would have got the full credit for it and things like that.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening. But
and it's like, how are you blaming it on you? Like, what you mean? It's not... even if it's someone's fault, it's not Q's fault because he wanted to quit randomly. Like, I don't know. It's entitlement is what it is. She's very entitled. And I feel like a part of her knows that, which is why it's like.
Which I'm shocked though, because in general, this entire situation led to later in the episode, Maria's saying, you know, people really don't like Q now after not giving her the food. And I'm just like,
girl, Ben got called a bully.
And that's why I really didn't like this episode. Ben walking around calling Q a bully.
Oh, Q's a terrible. Like, he knows she has an allergy, and he knows. Who gives a fuck?
She went on some with allergies.
She can go right the fuck home.
If to her $1 million and with her baby and go to Applebee's.
Her baby and her daughter, and she can go to
Applebee's
every motherfucking Wednesday. Some people can't even afford Applebee's every Wednesday.
Literally. My thing is, I don't understand how you could. It's like it always. People need to check their verbiage at the door, check their biases at the door for real, because I don't understand how it jumped straight to bully. That's a crazy motherfucking word. Bully! Went in her face, pushed her down, cussed her out, saying, you ain't getting this food. He has a game to play as well. And that's why I don't like people like Ben, because we're talking about actual
Ben don't know what the fuck the game is.
You're talking about bullying.
Nigga, go home. You go home too. You and Liz, and go to Applebee's.
But it's also it's just crazy. It's crazy though, because that's why I hate situations like this. Because it's like her breaking down in tears, crying about it. The narrative is now he's a bully. But when he was, exposing Tiffany's game, exposing Kenzie's game, doing all of this, they didn't break down in that way. Mm-hmm. So it didn't have the same reaction. So it's scary that someone else's reaction to something totally, basically not a problem, like her overreaction to something, causes him to be looked at as a bully. And it's like, that's messed up. Like, he didn't do anything in this situation. So I really don't like it. And it sucks that, like, not everyone gets it. Like, I'm sure Ben doesn't realize the implications of calling him that on national TV in front of so many people because this girl is crying over nothing.
For no reason.
But there are implications to that. And I don't like that he got called a bully over something so fucking stupid. Especially because, like, I mean, Maria said in the episode, like, people are wanting him out because of this. Now, I'm not blaming Kenzie or Tiffany on that, only because they got other shit with him. But if other people in the tribe was thinking he had to go because of this little situation, please.
Oh, please. God damn. Take him out because he's a bad player or he's a good player or this and that. Quit calling this man just any word in the world because of whatever. Even Liz, I'm less upset at Liz because at least it's her at least she's personally mad at him about something that happened in the game and then also this. Ben hopping out of nowhere, no shade. But hopping out of literally nowhere and coming to quotations defense of this lady about this, calling him a bully and saying he needs to go because he's this bad, terrible person. Nigga, shut the fuck up, please. Like, what are you talking about? This don't got shit to do with you, and he ain't got shit to do with you being a bad, terrible, blah, 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 blah. Get out of my face. Like, oh my God, that was so ridiculous to me. But it just goes back to what you said. Like, people are here to play a game and been here to look for bullies. I don't know.
Talk about Metallica.
Like, girl, please. And fucking Taylor Swift. Back at the camp. And then I like what I will say, I like that everybody wasn't just saying that because it's clear Maria, Tiffany, Kenzie wasn't thinking on that type of level. They didn't give a fuck. They were sitting there giggling about it. So shout out to them. Anyways, back at camp, Liz is still pressed about it. She's mad. This is when Ben's saying that he's a villain, he's a bully, da 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 da. He gotta go, blah, blah, blah. And then we hop to the sanctuary, and this is when it's Q, Maria, Kenzie, and Tiffany, and Q is here to, deploy a plan. And his new plan is to try to work with Yanu and Siga, which is Maria, Ben, and Charlie, so that the six of them can just take out Liz and Venus. Me personally, I felt like Tiffany specifically, and then also Kenzie should have just took this plan a little bit, because I know Maria already wants to work with you. And then I also feel like, I don't know, this was just the easy way for like Tiffany to just at least think she could have her idol on, or just, it's like more protection, it's more safety. Instead, they're walking around with no real group. When they could have just accepted this. I think what happened with Tiffany is she got way too caught up in being mad at Q. I understand to be upset at Q. I understand he fucked your game up, but that's not what this game is about. This game isn't about getting back at people who fucked your game up. This game is about winning, taking out targets, taking out, et cetera, et cetera.
I definitely get what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I'm also thinking about how this game plays out. It's shorter now. It's 26 days. When they're in the jury phase, this shit is like back to back. So it's not like last week he was doing all these things. Yesterday, he was exposing my game, throwing me under the bus, telling me I had an idol. So I get what you're saying 1,000%. And a high quality player would know when to swap back and forth, I feel. But like, I understand her and Kenzie being like, I can't work with him. I have to focus on this. And that usually what happens. We saw that last season. I felt like with, what was his name? Black dude who came back, Bruce.
Boom.
Bello was more worried about Bruce, so they had to focus on him being such a chaotic and toxic player in the game that they lost track, and freaking D and them was able to go all the way to the end. That's why that's literally what's happening now. They're getting so caught up in what Q was doing, but it's like I can't say they shouldn't get caught up in it because Q was literally just targeting her last 2 episodes. So it's like I get like the reason for not wanting to worry about it, but you're right. Like, you have to remain open as possible, which means even working with people that may have just been talking to you yesterday. Especially because I do think Q was genuine, and that's what I hate about Q playing this season so bad, because he has such great instincts. We're seeing in this episode. Like, it wasn't chaos Q no more, it was calm Q. Bitch, like this is Quatravius, okay? Like, he really reverted back to the Q we saw, I feel like, pre-jury, when he was not being the head of everything. I feel like he thought more methodical about his moves. These last 2 episodes, yes, it was very entertaining, but it just was not smart for the game. And now he's out of this. He's in this spot where nothing he does is going to work to get out of it. I feel like Maria wants to use him, which is great, but it depends on how long she's going to be able to do so without him just getting clipped because so many people dislike him. So it's just really unfortunate.
It is. Yeah, they're in between a rock and a hard place. I just feel like they should have been a little more open to it because they just weren't at all. And it's like, ooh, you went home.
Or just looking at other people. Like, for example, like the reason why they don't want Q to go, like Maria and them, is because they know Q can't win and he's not a threat no more. Like, no one believes him. They should have that same logic. Like I get it, he's doing what he's doing, but if we can get him on our side, which is what he was trying to do, they could have focused their eyes on other people this episode. Liz can go, she's doing too much.
Maria, Charlie,
why is no one looking at Maria, Charlie, and Ben?
The whole trio walking around here, and y'all worried about, I get it.
Bill and Tiffany, who both hate each other. They're worried about 2 people who hate each other.
Yeah.
And Maria, Ben, and Charlie are just sitting here, finna go to the final 3 easily.
There's so much other shit. That's the thing. I'm less upset at Tiffany. I'm more a little upset at Kenzie because Kenzie's options were Q or Tiffany, and it's like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Because taking out Q ain't that good for you because he's worried about other people, and taking out Tiffany ain't good for you because she's worried about Q, and that's your closest ally. Kenzie was the main one who should have had enough clarity, I feel, to decide kind of the right move and kind of do it. And her not doing it this episode, it's like making me look at her like, okay, what have you done? Because pre-merge, Kenzie was running her tribe, but post-merge, what has Kenzie done? Oh, okay. Crickets. Boom. Back at camp, Liz has a little flashback about her family and how there was a literal image of her at Applebee's on Wednesday with the exact same burger. And at the sanctuary, they didn't even eat the burger. None of them ate the burger. The burger came, they didn't care. And then this is when Q walks away, and Kenzie and Tiffany kind of tell Maria that they don't want to do the Q plan. They don't want to work with Q. And Maria's basically like, they don't want to work with Q, but I still do, so we're going to have to figure something out. When we get back to camp and they all return, they let everybody know what happened. Liz is mad because they didn't even eat the burger, but she apologizes to Q, playing, blah, blah, blah. I guess Liz, one pro, I guess at least Liz is playing the game because she got a diary room. She said, I'm actually still mad, but I'm going to apologize to Q. I'm going to say I'm sorry because I'm still trying to win this extra meal on top of my meal. I'll give her that because she did play in his face and apologize and move along. And then also we see she didn't vote emotionally this episode. A part of it was like, ain't no way Liz not voting Q. She's just too emotional. But no, she voted out Tiffany. So she's ready to at least put her emotions to the side and consider a different plan, which I didn't think she would. I honestly thought Q was going this episode because of Liz, but she didn't do it. So it's like, hey, there's that. Then we get the real players talking. Maria and Charlie go to their back room, their office, and they discuss what is actually going to happen this week, as they do every motherfucking week. And they basically say, look, everybody want to do Q. We might just have to do Q if he loses immunity. And Charlie was like, what about Tiff? And they're basically like, okay, let's see what happens with immunity. If Q or Tiff loses, then we'll decide based on that. And Charlie's goal is basically for Q and Tiff to lose so he can have as many options open as possible. And I fuck with that for him. So boom. We head to this immunity challenge. This is a Q immunity challenge, except Jeff brought out this damn rice again.
Girl, he wants somebody to take this shit so bad. But honestly, they had to do it for Liz. Yeah, said, this girl must be hungry as fuck. My thing is, she the main one hesitating. You was just crying and bad over some damn food and needing to eat, and now you don't want to step up for the rice. Girl, if you don't go get that damn rice. You could have
jumped up for that rice. But anyways, he's able to give her little own jar of rice. I guess they really couldn't let her starve, I guess, with this. They probably know she's allergic to coconut. She has literally not eaten. And it's like, okay, I guess y'all got to give her little portion of rice. So she gets her little portion of rice. She sits out, and everybody else has to hold this bucket of water filled with 25% of their weight. Is it water? Whatever. It's a bucket that's as heavy as 25% of their pre-game weight. I feel like I could have did good in this challenge, but when he said they was up there for 5-10 minutes, I was like, oh, hold on. Because sitting out there in that sun, I don't know. It's a lot. But I was tuned in because Tiffany was locked the fuck in. Tiffany was locked in hard, solid on the damn.
Yeah, I just knew my sister had it. I had a tweet ready and everything, celebrating. I was so excited.
You was ready
I just knew she had it. She was solid. And I'm thinking, girl, Charlie not gonna hold on to this. Charlie need to go.
So anyways, Tiffany drops and Charlie actually holds on, and he lets us know that he had been practicing grip strength before the season. So there's that. Then we head back to the camp. Tiffany just lost, and she has a diary room. She says, look, I know I have Adelicia, but I'm going to try to, bet on that I can still keep her for one more round because everyone really wants Q out. And when she said that, I was like, girl, I need you to not hold on to Adelicia. Adelicia, this should have been Adelicia's.
Said that, I was like, it's over. There's no way you're going to get away with not playing this idol again. She definitely should have just played it. I think that was a huge mistake on her end, especially because no idols. There are no correct idol plays this season at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely gonna try to find one next episode. And I can see someone using it right now, hopefully, but if not, that would be crazy.
Mm-hmm. So she says she doesn't want to use it, and then we see Kenzie and Maria talk about the Tiff plan because Kenzie had been wanting it all episode, and then here she kind of changes her mind, and Maria has a diary room that, okay, Kenzie want to change her mind, but I'm not changing my mind. I'm going to need Tiffany out now. So I got to figure that out, period. So Maria goes, she talks to Q. She's like, look, Q, you don't have to go. We can vote Tiffany. He's down. She goes and talks to her boys, Charlie and Ben. They're down. That's 4 votes. And they're like, look, this is only 4. We need 1 more. So Maria goes and talks to Liz and gets the last vote. And Liz is basically like going into tribal council. Liz is like, I could vote Tiffany strategically, but at the end of the day, I don't like Q. Period. So it's like we're leaving on the fact that is Liz gonna just vote out Q because she hates him, or is she gonna vote with Maria, who Maria hate this? She talked to every single person and made it happen. This is Maria's move, bitch, and this is a good move because she's taking out Tiff and an idol in the same moment. And Tiff has been presented as a big player in this game. So we go to tribal council. My sister Tiffany goes home. Shout out to Maria though, because that's
now masterful move. She know who Mother was. She knew who Mother was. She had to take her out. I get it. To take her out. That's the queen. That's the queen.
So that leads us to our motherfucking tier ranking. Tiffany went home. Didn't play Adalisha.
I mean, honestly, I'm not giving her that low of a score. She doesn't deserve to be child. Put my sister in mid, at least.
I'm giving her. I was thinking mid as well. You know,
she in with Camp. I don't know. Does she even deserve to be?
She came in with Camp. She came in with Camp because she didn't play Adalisha when she was right there.
Adalisha.
And I just can't. I wouldn't like that. But I'm gonna do mid.
She deserves so much better. It sucks because she just had terrible allies. Banu exposed her earlier in the game. Q came and exposed her with Jury. I do think literally if Q exposed her this time and Jury, she would have been set up well. It's because, like, think about it. Like, they were more threatened by Adalisha than Tiffany. Every time they would mention targeting Tiffany, it was, I just want to get that idol out. Notice no one said Tiffany. This was more so a vote against Adalisha.
Yeah.
Tiffany is still in the game. This is like what Total Drama Izzy East Coast. Izzy is but no, yeah. So it just sucks. Like, she had terrible allies. I feel like if she had a season where her allies were not, chaotic and wanting to throw her under the bus every left and right, she'd be in a good position. Because no one knew she had that idol, and that was so clutch.
So that's what Tiffany's at. We had Q at Chop.
Well,
I just don't know where the path. Everyone has basically agreed he's not. They're not getting his vote to win. He's being used by Maria, which is better, but he's being used by Maria. He has no agency in this game. No one still likes him. He's getting all the votes other than the person who's going home every round. I think eventually he's just going to go home, no shade. So, I don't know. I like him trying to lay low, but it's like,
yeah, I do like what he tried to do this episode, but at the end of the day, he also put himself in this position. If he never started being Chaos Q, it would have never got this bad, so he has to revert back to where he was and try to work his way out of it. Like, he did this to himself. He really did.
So I just got to keep him there. No shade. Venus, baby, you going down. I'm like, Venus don't have
anything from Venus this episode.
Yeah, and that's because she has nowhere to go. No, Ben, Maria, and Charlie controlled this game. It seems like they like working with Liz most of everyone else. They voted with Liz.
I think Kenzie as well.
And Kenzie, but they just left Kenzie out the vote. They ain't left Liz out of one vote yet. Oh, last one, the Hunter one. See, Hunter. Look, it's really just the big three. At the end of the day, if you're not the big three, I don't even think you could be in camp at this moment. The big three is taking this game, honestly. So Venus, I'm gonna have to move Venus down to mid at least.
It needs to be some type of flip happening. Like, literally next round, Venus, Kenzie, Q, Liz need to come together against that three. I don't think they will because they're so caught up in Q's annoying he has to go.
If they don't, they're walking to the final three. They have the votes. After this next round, they have the votes. So it's like, we gonna see. But I'm moving Kenzie and I'm moving Liz down. I think I like Kenzie's potential as a player better than Liz. Liz is very clearly not. I don't know. She just doesn't seem like a game player. But I do think she might last longer than Kenzie, but I just have more hope in Kenzie. But like I said earlier, Kenzie ain't did shit all merged, but want Tiffany out, and then Tiffany went home and she didn't want her to go. So it's like, should I even say that?
That's what's really crazy about her edit. Like, I thought it was definitely coming from winter edit, which it still could because I feel like the new era edits have been crazy. But the fact that they specifically showed her wanting her to go and then her changing her mind and then she still goes is crazy.
And someone said that Kenzie has 0 allies. That's true. But I also feel like Liz and Venus also. It's Venus alone, Liz alone, Kenzie alone, Q alone, and then Maria, Charlie, and Ben. That's just how I see it. It's 4 random lone soldiers with no allies and then a trio. So everybody flopping in my eyes, truly. I want to move Ben down because I don't like him because he pissed me off this episode to mid. And also he ain't doing shit for real. It's Maria and Charlie. So I want to put him at the top of mid, me personally. because he ain't nothing more than mid to me. I don't have a camp bone in my body for Ben, so I'm gonna move him to mid. And Maria is head mother.
He ain't giving me nothing. I'm bored.
Maria is definitely head mother this episode. She mother.
Yeah, and then Charlie went to mid again. He's father.
Yeah, and he's father. This is mother and father. They're running it. If Maria or Charlie don't win this game, then actually I don't care for the season. If it's some bum ass winners, unless
I still feel like
I don't think she can win though.
I got my eye on Kenzie a little bit, but I do feel like Kenzie has like the finesse in her gameplay. Like she has a great social game. I really do think that even when she has no like current allies, what we can see, I don't think she will just go necessarily. So if she ends up in that final 3 and wins, I think it's because of her social game, which I think she would deserve it at that point.
I would like that. It's just looking so bad. Speaking of looking so bad, y'all,
Girl, look at the big 3 at the bottom. We didn't pick them at all. We didn't pick Ben at all. No. Charlie is my third to last pick. Maria was your third to last pick.
And they're the big 3. It's very likely that I don't think I can win unless Maria. I think Maria has the best chance at winning. Me personally, her or Charlie. I think her and Charlie are really what. And I feel like she's the only one of my people who can win. I don't think Q or Liz are winning this game. So I got to hold out for Maria. Lee, I mean, you could win with Kenzie, Charlie, or Ben. I think Venus is out. Who voting Venus? So it's looking like Lee Baxter has struck again, bitch. Girl. What a fucking shame. But well, you know what? It ain't over to the nigga sings, period. So Maria could get this win. Maria could definitely get this win. I'm gonna hold out for Maria.
For her. At this point, I think I do.
Great episode for her. Great episode for her. She bodied this. So
at this point, I definitely want Maria to win.
Come on, Maria.
If not Kenzie, if not her, Q. I think I would like Maria, then Q. But I just don't see it for Q. Then Kenzie, then Venus.
I would prefer Venus.
I think Charlie does deserve it over probably some, but like
I think technically Charlie probably deserves it second most after Maria, but I wouldn't prefer.
Girl, if I win again, that would be wild.
It wouldn't be because you have super power. Chat. Chat. When does it change from wild to he has a superpower if he's won the last 12 seasons? It's like that's not even mathematically possible. It is a superpower. Congratulations. God blessed you. And I love that for you. Thank you, Moonies. But y'all, we're here. What is there? There's like 3 more episodes of the season. So we'll definitely be back for these next 3 episodes. They've kept me a little excited. I'm not gonna lie. The cast has caused some chaos. So if they keep that up, I'll still be dragging. The
entertainment factor of the season has been really, really good. I think that's fun. Like the gameplay has been kind of stagnant if you read between the lines.
Yeah.
Almost, especially since Jury hit. But the difference between, I feel like I felt the same with 43 and 44, but the cast was boring to me. This cast is not boring to me. I'm actually very tuned in.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll be here next week, every Wednesday. We're also going to finish out Big Brother Canada. That's coming to an end. And we're also covering The Challenge and The Amazing Race. So check those out as well. And, bitch, thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom. We out.